ఇక an update to Indian economy strategy to 2035 పేరుతో హైదరాబాద్ లో ఆస్ట్రేలియన్ కాన్సులేట్ నిర్వహించిన సమావేశానికి మంత్రి కేటీఆర్ ముఖ్య అతిథిగా హాజరయ్యారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా ఆయన మాట్లాడుతూ ప్రపంచ వ్యాప్తంగా పెట్టుబడులను ఆకర్షించే లక్ష్యంతో తెలంగాణ ప్రభుత్వం ప్రతిష్టాత్మకంగా రూపొందించిన టీఎస్ఐ పాస్ పాలసీ విజయవంతంగా పనిచేస్తుందని రాష్ట్ర ఐటీ పరిశ్రమల శాఖ మంత్రి కేటీఆర్ తెలిపారు. టీఎస్ఐ పాస్ ద్వారా గత 8 ఏళ్లలో 19,000 కేసులను పరిష్కరించామని చెప్పారు. రాష్ట్రానికి ఇప్పటివరకు 35 బిలియన్ డాలర్ల పెట్టుబడులు తీసుకువచ్చామని 16 లక్షల మందికి ప్రత్యక్షంగా ఉపాధి కల్పించామని వెల్లడించారు.
Because India is a heterogeneous, complex, a very diverse nation. Of course, we are all Indians first, without a question, and then we respect to our sub-identity as a state, and then as a Telugu, etc., etc. But the fact is, when it comes to doing business in India, it depends on which port of entry, which gateway you choose to work or to enter India. For instance, if an Australian firm were to enter India through Hyderabad, their experience would be drastically different compared to entering through another state. I would not want to name names, but most certainly I'll tell you that this would be a very different experience. So the notion of doing business in India will vary from the choice of your destination. So therefore, I've been a very strong proponent that while it's important to have free trade agreements, while it's also important to have regulations and frameworks with respect to foreign direct investment, what is far more important from an individual investor perspective is the real action when it comes to investing actually is in the hands of a state, because land, power, water, fiscal incentives, manpower, and the day-to-day daily operational issues, all of those lie actually within the domain of a state government. Because India is a federal republic, we are a union of states. So therefore, my humble appeal to the Australian government through you and Australian investor community through you again is that you need to engage bilaterally, directly with the states. While it's important to be engaged at New Delhi's level, but what's equally important is to actually engage directly, bilaterally with various states, because each state has its own strengths. For example, the last state of Telangana has chosen 14 areas as thrust areas for inviting investment. My sister state, Andhra Pradesh, which also falls under you, has a huge coastline, which I do not have, which the state of Telangana does not have. So therefore, our strengths are complementary. We need to figure out who to work with on which front. So that sort of a combination, that sort of a positioning is equally important to understand. More importantly, I'm happy to learn that Telangana has been identified by the Australian government as one of the featured states in this report that you've just shared with us, as an investor-friendly state with which Australian companies can actually do business. When we launched our industrial policy back in 2014, we had kept in mind the apprehensions of international investor community that typically are about investing in a country like India. India is, one of the biggest concerns about investing in India. I'm saying this with Jayesh Ranjan right in front of me, is the proverbial bureaucratic red tape, which kind of has bothered. And Jayesh is of course very different. Trust me, I've worked with him long enough. I think if every bureaucrat in India was like Jayesh, it would have been a very different India. I mean, that's a different story, but.